What's up, Flannelverse? This is the All Dog Show. Every week, joined by Mathology, who, of course, was the regular season winner of Best Ball Mania last year. Also took sixth place in the Dawg Bowl last year, and we've been very fortunate to get a lot of awesome guests, a lot of returning Dawg Bowl qualifiers. This week we have Dave on, who was in the Dawg Bowl last year. Excited to be to breaking it down. So we're going to be breaking down the Dawg Bowl on Underdog, how we think it's looking this week, and then we'll do some drafts at the end. Dave, thank you very much for joining us. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Neil. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to discuss this slate. There's a lot of interesting strategies you can do to approach this. So we're excited to talk about them.
How many drafts have you done so far this week?
I have done 34. So I usually try to get in there pretty early in the week, get as many as I can. But this week especially, I feel like there was a massive edge in some of the players that you could have gone in the last few rounds. So yeah.
Very nice. Matt, how many have you done so far this week?
I'm up to 27 so far. Yeah, I've got a little eliminator stimmy today, so I started. I got a little extra. So yeah, I'm just like Dave. I thought there's some unique angles and drafting early. I think it's kind of be where the winner is. So the rooms have been fun. Everybody's for the most part been staying in their lanes, other than Herbert. Herbert's been one to difficult to stack, but other than that, I'm building out some pretty fun game environments. So we're close. Yeah. We had a good shot on goal. You know, I was going in the late slate. I think I was in second place and needed a big ceiling out by Flowers, and that didn't happen. And then all Mahomes and Genty, chased me down. So
yeah,
shots on goal. We'll get there.
You and Steven Urbanek were at the top going into the late games. It was kind of exciting, looking like somebody from the Flannelverse Discord might take it down. Didn't quite get there, but hopefully this week we get somebody to take it down. I, of course, have already done 2 drafts, which is I think a record for me prior to this show. So I guess doing it on Wednesday allowed me to get a couple in. We'll take a look at the we'll go position by position as we usually do here, and just kind of talk about what we like, what we don't like. Math, I'll let you take over that part, but I'll share my screen here. And I think we usually start at quarterback. Is that big enough? Let's see.
Yeah. So Dave, one thing I always like to ask all of our guests is like, what do you think, one, roster construction, what do you think punches home? Is it 1-2-2-1 or is it a 1-1-3 week, first of all?
Normally, I would say it's 1-2-2-1, but given how the ADP shakes out this particular week, I'm going to say 1-1-3-1. Wide receiver seems a little bit deeper this week than running back throughout the entire draft. So, yeah, let's go with the wide receiver heavy builds this week for me.
So, are you with that? You're thinking it might be a little bit more scoring, or do you think it's just the way that who's on the slate?
A little bit of both. So I think this will definitely be the lowest scoring qualifiers up to this date. But just also we're missing a lot of we're missing the Chiefs, we're missing the Jags, especially tomorrow night, Thursday Night Football. We're missing Puka, we're missing CMC, we're missing a lot of these high tier guys that you would normally target in the first round. So I think it should be a lower scoring slate. That's usually what happens when the buys come in, but there's quite a bit of angles you can take this week in particular that I think are quite interesting. We're going to get into that when we go through these position by position. I'll throw it back at you. What do you think is going to be the optimal construction for this week?
Yeah, and this is one thing I've been kind of doing early, and every week I've been grabbing the top 10 scoring teams from Dawg Bowl 1 to Dawg Bowl 4, and like 1-2-2-1 is dominant right now, other than the high scoring slates. When we get above like 125, 127, that's when the 1-1-3-1s have been coming into play and kind of bubble into the top. So I've been building my strategy more on the 1-2-2-1 because I'm thinking like 117 gets home and punches a ticket. So I've been trying to get unique combos early. I've gotten a couple like Barkley with Javonte Williams, just trying to see if I can get that Javonte Williams slide a little bit and scooping up some of those early running backs when I can. And then I think we're going to talk about the other running backs that are going to be very interesting. The guys that got like the Whites in the 5th, 6th round, how those teams shake out, how those combos look. But I haven't been clicking a lot of fields yet, and that might be a little bit of a blind spot. But he's kind of going in the second round all the time. Hertz is one that slides a little bit. You can get some unique pairings. Daniels now is mostly all the time in the third round. I kind of wish I was taking him a little bit more, but Daniels, again, I'm a Daniels softy. I every time I see him, I'm like, I want to grab it. I just think his ceiling is probably the highest on the slate. If he is healthy with that rushing ceiling. Herbert. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. I was going to say, to me, this week, there's a massive tier drop off after the first 6 or 7 quarterbacks. Anyone after Goff, then I'm kind of looking like there's not a lot to do. I mean, obviously you got your stack partners, but for me, for the most part, I've been going elite quarterback, and just really targeting the top 6 guys and Goff. The Lions are set to smash this week. No Lamar on the slate definitely helps the elite, the top 3 guys. So yeah, I like quarterback this week, but more so on the top end than the back end.
Any love for dimes at all, or are you thinking that's going to be more of a JT game?
Yeah, I'll take dimes. So kind of just like how I approach these slates before the projections come out, I just log onto Unabated, see what the over-unders are. And we have quite a couple games this week that have over-under of 48.5. So it is the Lions, Bengals, Raiders, Colts, Cowboys, Jets, and I think that's it. So any of those quarterbacks in those games are just a target for me right off the rip. I know they're going to project a little bit better than the guys in the lower scoring games. But yes, I will take some dimes. Just I will put them in a different tier than the top 6 that I was mentioning earlier.
Yeah, are you with dimes? Are you mostly stacked? Because that's what I'm seeing with dimes right now. Is mostly with Pittman. A lot of Pittman dimes combos. Are you seeing the same?
I've been taking him with Warren. I've been Warren over Bowers this week, taking him, as high as like 17, 18. Kind of when that Javonte Williams tier kind of disappears. If you want to go to running back real quick, Neil, on the positions. Let me just make sure. Yeah, right after Javonte. That's kind of when I'm willing to take Fields, willing to take the elite tight end, anywhere from McBride to Warren. And I will take Bowers, but I just feel like he's not healthy 100%.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, do I really want to do this? But yes, I've been taking a lot of Warren and then stacking him up with dimes if possible. But I'll also take him naked. He's got that rushing component. Like I said, it's a high over-under. So completely fine with naked dimes.
Yeah, no, I agree. Any love for some of the pocket passers? Are you trying to, like with Goff, are you really trying to double stack, or is it just like a St. Brown, Laporta?
I've been doing Lions all slots. So I've even done, I think I have one team with Demont, Amon-Ra, and Laporta. I just don't see how they don't absolutely smash this week.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So yeah, Goff has been my favorite target among the pocket passers, but I'm sure that's a fairly common take as well.
Yeah, it seems like he's going most drafts. Any love for like a 50 or 40% guy?
I've been taking some stabs on Geno just because I like the game environment, but and I think Jacoby's ADP is a little underpriced.
Yep.
But beyond that, I've not been taking a ton. I'll take some Bryce with some Tet. Beyond that, I have no interest in Stroud. Look, so we'll talk about this when we get to Rachaad White, but I just feel like the Seattle matchup isn't great. So I kind of been scared off Baker. Even though Godwin, he had 10 targets last week, Igbuka has been balling out. I've just been a little queasy on the pass catchers from the Buccaneers side. And then one sneaky one I do like a lot is Sam Darnold with JSN. You get that Tampa secondary that's been a target for, it feels like that last half decade. JSN's going the first round, and Sam Darnold is going vastly undrafted.
Yeah.
So that's my favorite leverage piece as of right now is I've been doing a lot of Sam Darnold, JSN, and then Rachaad White in the last round. So obviously that won't be possible anymore, but the leverage play from Darnold seems good, and he's shown some kind of sneaky upside rushing wise. So
yeah, good shot.
I like Darnold as I've seen him drafted just a handful of times. So
yeah, I barely have seen him go, and that's one thing that I kind of circled is that JSN Stroud stack. Definitely want some of that in my on my draft boards.
What about Jackson Dart? Either of you have any interest there? Looks like he probably goes every draft, but
yeah, he's been going every draft. I've been taking him naked or taking him with Theo Johnson. I just, it's really hard to decide like what receiver I'm going to stack him with, if there's even a good receiver at all. His prop line on FanDuel opened up at 169 passing yards, which is quite low.
Oh, really? Damn.
And the game environment isn't amazing from a totals perspective, but the pace is going to be outstanding. I know it's pace up in Thorman's snaps and pace article. New Orleans is playing the fastest out of any offense in the league. Jackson Dart is, the offense is kind of reminiscent of his Ole Miss offense, where they're running a lot of RPOs, running a lot of design runs, a lot of tempo. So from a pace perspective, I like it, but I've been mostly going naked or Theo Johnson in the last round.
Okay. Not going to. I've been debating going to. I've taken Wandale once. I've thought about taking some Slayton because I think there was a game last year where Slayton was the one who actually like stepped into the Malik Neighbors role and saw double-digit targets, which is kind of intriguing for a guy who doesn't go drafted every time. The only other quarterbacks that I was kind of debating is the Miami Carolina game. Or are we interested in? I guess you said Bryce Young with Tet. What about the other side? Do you have any interest in Tua with Achane or Waddle? Maybe Waller even.
Yeah, I think I have just one team with Tua Achane, but like I said, for the most part, I'm trying to focus on like the top 5 or 6 guys because I just think they are going to outproject the bottom half by such a significant amount. Especially Jaden Daniels back on the slate. That's pretty massive. So yeah, I will definitely have some in my portfolio, but a vast majority of it will be among the top 4 to 6 guys.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the opportunity cost is pretty large. Just the way that you can find some decent wide receivers that aren't really being clipped, that have a decent floor, but they spike for a touchdown, they get you 12, 14 points. That might be enough to get it done on a low scoring slate.
Sure. It's also just the game environments for everyone besides Hurts among the top 6 quarterbacks is pretty good. You have Dallas, whose defense looks horrific. They have a 47, 48 over under. Same with Jaden Daniels, 48 over under. You can say the same about Herbert. So it's not only that I like these guys individually early in the week, it's just the game environments are also quite appealing.
Yeah.
For sure.
No, I agree. Let's move over to running back, Neil.
There we are.
Really interesting with all the news. So if you want to just take it away for what you're seeing, kind of at the top, are you kind of correlated with ADP, or do you think it's Gibbs, or do you think it's Achane at 1? Dave.
Sorry. Among the top 3 guys, I'm actually quite intrigued to see how the projections are to shake out and who's going to be ranked 1 through 3, because in my opinion, all are in just absolutely 6 spots. You have Achane with the loss of Tyreek. You have Gibbs against this horrific Cincinnati defense. And you got the 101 this season with Taylor. So I think there's a pretty steep drop off after the top 3 guys. And you can see by the ADP right now, you did 2.8 on Achane, 2.3 by Gibbs. So you could see that people are mixing up the 2nd and 3rd pick. And then a little tier drop off after Hampton. I am a little bit worried with the loss of Joe Alt, how efficient that run game is going to be, but it might not even matter with how many touches he's going to absorb. So right now I'm just playing the ADP game, just taking JT 1, Gibbs 2, Achane 3. I have no conviction on who should be ranked 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. What about you?
Yeah, I'm a little bit lower on Gibbs just for the ceiling. I think DeMont's gonna get a lot of work. He's Cincinnati his hometown game, Cincinnati. First time he's ever gone back to Cincinnati to play in his career. He's already said a bunch of stuff in the media about wanting to put a show on for his hometown, and the way that his head coach is, he's a player's guy. I just feel like they're going to scheme him up at the red zone. He could have 2 touchdowns on Sunday.
100%, and he's been like the most mispriced player besides White, in my opinion. For most of the early week, he's been going anywhere between like 30 to 40, which is just, the game environment, the team he's playing, it just seems really bad. To me, he should be like a 2-3 turn pick. And for the most part, I wouldn't take into account like, hey, he's going back to his hometown, he's gonna be in front of his family and whatnot. But for this specific, team, for Dan Campbell, this actually matters, in my opinion. So, I wouldn't be surprised if you got like 1 or 2 extra red zone carries over Gibbs this week. That being said, Gibbs is also an absolute just nutty spot.
Yeah. It's more just like the ceiling. I mean, Gibbs could totally break a 60, 70 yard of the house, you know, and it's still going to another goal line and just separate from the slate. But if those long plays don't occur, you know, and they're down, you know, 2nd and goal, 3rd and goal from the 2-3 yard line, I think like Demont's number might get called a few more times, like kind of like what you said, Dave.
Where's your head at, Neil? Among the top 3 guys,
I think it's probably Achane number 1 for me. I just think he's going to get so much work in the passing game with Tyreek Hill out, and it's I think it's still a pretty good matchup with Carolina. I mean, I've been we saw they shut down Atlanta, so maybe not quite the dream matchup that it has been in the past, but I think that it's probably Achane to me at the top, followed by Gibbs, followed by Taylor, and that might just be. I think the Vegas matchup for running backs is not actually that great. I think it's better through the air, but I want to fact check myself on that because I like the workload is obviously there for.
It is. Yeah, Vegas is a lot weaker in the secondary. People have been passing all over Vegas.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, looking at
Max Crosby has been playing unreal run defense. I will say with Achane though, regarding the Carolina matchup, it seems like Bijan was pretty good. Efficiency wise and explosive play wise when he was playing Carolina, it just seems like it was more like a Michael Penix thing that set them back pretty early. So I'm not too concerned about that one game against Atlanta. Achane's going to get his own, and I mean he's in a smash spot.
Yeah, the workload is so good for Achane, and it's a nice enough matchup. So yeah, I think for me it's Achane, then Gibbs, then Taylor, because looking at schedule adjusted, kind of a tough matchup for Jonathan Taylor. Hampton really, then it gets kind of gross to me. Like I'm a little bit nervous about Hampton with no Joe Alt. Don't love the matchup for Saquon. Although Denver, I guess, has actually been not a terrible matchup for running backs, at least in terms of schedule adjusted fantasy points allowed. It's been so I don't know, but to me, there's like a pretty clear tier break after the top 3. Do you guys also see it that way?
100%.
Yeah, 100. Yeah.
I'll even take probably Amon-Ra over after that first tier break. So at 4.
Yeah, I'm kind of respecting the market a little bit. I'm not really trying to take too much of a stand in the first round. If anything, is what I did early, and I'm probably will start pivoting here. But I've been trying to pretty much get all the top guys and pair them with Monty in the 3rd round.
Yep.
So I JT Monty, Gibbs Monty. I got one of those.
You did a Gibbs Monty. I thought about doing a Gibbs Monty in my first Dawg Bowl.
I think it's really viable. I mean, they have the highest team total in the slate, and it's like just a bet on like, hey, instead of Goff passing for a couple of touchdowns, to just alter the ground. 2 touchdowns each. They scored 28, 31 points, whatever. Yeah, I like it, and no one's going to be doing it. It feels gross. I haven't seen anyone do it. I've thought about it. I just haven't pulled the trigger myself. So
yeah, I've done it once. The only problem with that, it's like you get really weak at. You kind of want to. I'm almost thinking that if I do it again, I want to try to get a tight end in the 2nd, and then try to build out like just a back stack with a quarterback, and say it's like those 2 games. I can just I hand pick the 2 games that kind of go off.
Some little breaking news here. All 3 of the 49ers are out. Juwan, Ricky, and Brock Purdy. That's tough.
Yeah. It's a gross game on Thursday.
Sorry, I just saw that. How to bring that up. That's a bummer.
No, it's a huge bummer.
Kind of moving down, and then it's like everyone. You see Henry going over Cam, then you got the Cam truthers, Genty's kind of sometimes in between, and then like I think Hall's been a good size riser since the contest opened. He was kind of going more in the 2nd round. I got some Hall in the 2nd round early. That felt pretty good. But he's pretty much now a 1-2 turn guy. Is there anyone that stands out to you that we should shout out, or is it just kind of ADP sounds good and move on?
I think we should just talk about Derrick Henry and what we think, how this offense is going to operate with Cooper Rush under center. You can kind of play it 2 ways. One is like, hey, we don't have Lamar. We're going to feed the ball in this guy's belly 30 plus times. On the other side, it could be kind of like last week where the offense is so inefficient that Derrick Henry doesn't get any work at all. It's a lot of Justice Hill. So I'm kind of going to ask you guys, where do you guys What do you guys think about Henry? The spread is now currently, I think, Texas -1.5. If last time I checked, let me fact check that and make sure that's good. Texas it's a pick 'em. Texas -1. So, where do you guys stand as regard to Henry? Because I think that's a pretty important part of the first round.
Yeah, I think this is a Henry week for me. I think we're going to see them really lean on the running game and try to do a little bit more just play action, quick, make easy decisions for the QB. The secondary for Houston is their strength, and their pass rush is their strength. They've been able to get run on. It's just like, can Baltimore's O-line handle it, and just create some lanes, and they can move the chains through Henry on the ground game. I think it's a 25 carry week for Henry. What he does with those 25 is, we'll find out on Sunday.
And I believe Ronnie Stanley's going to be out, correct?
Yeah, that the offensive line is going to be a big part of this. But numbers wise, on paper, you can run on Houston.
Mm-hmm.
And they've given up some pretty big plays. Taylor got him for a big 60-yarder. The way that they're uber aggressive, and they stack the box. All it is one bad angle away, or Henry just gets on a linebacker that's a lot lighter than him, and he stiffs arm him, and he's gone to the house. Like that could happen. Pretty.
The thing that's been
high
really,
rate.
The thing that's been really encouraging with Henry this year is that, last year was a lot of 5-yard carry, 5-yard carry, 5-yard carry, 60-yard carry. This year, the explosive plays have been staying the same. It's just -1 yard, tackle at the line of scrimmage, 1 yard, 1 yard. So the run blocking hasn't been as good, but the explosiveness is still there.
Yeah.
And if you think Texans are allowing up a lot of explosive plays, as the numbers say, then, that's an angle you can take with Henry.
Yeah. I've been playing it the opposite because I've been afraid of the Houston defense mostly, but I think Henry's probably the player that throughout his career I've gotten wrong the most. He's just the one that I'm always afraid of him in tough matchups. And honestly, I think if you look at his historical stats relative to ownership in DFS contests, he always does better, or not does better, but has had many games where he's 3% owned because people get scared of the matchup, and then he puts up 30 fantasy points. So certainly this seems like a spot where maybe we're more afraid of the matchup than we should be. I was thinking I would probably move Breece Hall ahead of Derrick Henry, but maybe I'll just move him right behind Derrick Henry.
Yeah, just to shout out some of the stats that you see, it's 3.5 yards after contact. So they're a small, fast as hell defense. They're not big. They're just fast. So a guy like Henry that's fast and big and physical, he could have some fun against their linebackers and their secondaries just by shedding them off pretty easily.
Wasn't it sorry.
Go ahead. That is kind of the angle that I'm thinking with that ADP being so suppressed and the market is so hesitant on that making that click. And it's one of the reasons why right now Derrick Henry is probably my most drafted running back.
Wasn't it just a few years back where it was the week 17 meme of Henry versus the Texans where he just goes scorch earth every single time he plays them? Maybe Henry just has this team's number. Obviously it's way different scenarios now, a couple years later, but I like your comments about how the size of the Texans defense, Matt.
Yeah. Just some things that I'm seeing. It could fail. It could fail.
Right.
It could fail. I'm not overconfident by any means, but that's I've been taking him over Genty.
Are there any who could not fail on this slate? Do you consider the top three? But obviously they could all fail if they get hurt or something. But do you see those top three as tough to fail?
I'd say the top three, and if I had a gun to my head, I'd put Javonte in the top 5.
Oh wow, okay.
I'm not going to draft him like that, but
yeah.
It's a pretty good matchup. I want to see if Tyler Guyton's going to end up playing. He had a concussion against the Packers, but they said they're optimistic about him playing this week. But yeah, it just seems like a great matchup. The Jets defense didn't look that good. I feel like it's the perception of their defenses. We still think of them as an elite unit, but as far as I can tell, they haven't been that good this season. And Dak's been playing out of his mind. He's going to get the goal line opportunities. Miles Sanders is hurt with an ankle injury. Jaden Blue's not getting active, maybe. So just Javonte workhorse against, a subpar defense on one of the highest totals on the slate. I think he should be going a little bit higher than he is right now.
Yeah, he's been that main our second round target for me is how I can pair a running back in the first round with Javonte Williams. Those are like my two most highest owned running backs right now for sure. I completely agree with you. The Jets, another team that is not great at tackling. They've given up extra 3 yards, failing to tackle some of these running backs. So these elusive ratings, these guys that can break tackles and bring into the house, those are the guys that I'm trying to draft in a low scoring slate.
Nice.
All right, so now we're getting into that. At least by ADP, it's not. You're going to be, if you do enter these rooms and you're only going to do a couple, you're going to see Bucky Irving right now on the board, all the way through the third, and then all the way through the fourth, all the way through the fifth. So, let's give the people a little bit the alpha what to do with Bucky Irving, Dave.
So I'm playing it as if he's not playing. I know he finished the game. He had some explosive runs after the game, but all the coach speak and reports from the Twitter doctors have me believing he's going to sit. I will say Dawg Bowl said he's day-to-day, which I found a little bit shocking. I think Schefter reported week to week. Might just be a coach being optimistic, trying to keep the Seattle Seahawks on their toes. But as of right now, I am fading completely. And then the real question is, what do you want to do with White? Because the contest has been about 30% drafted now. And Rachaad White has been going in the 5th, 6th round for almost every draft. So now you kind of think to yourself, what are you doing in the situation where you're now going against quote unquote super teams, where you have a top 3 running back with an elite tight end, with an elite quarterback, and then you get Rachaad White in the 6th round? Because to me, kind of the rounds 3 through 5, the wide receivers kind of seem like a nice little pocket. There's a lot of guys that are going to project well, like Keenan Allen, Jacoby Myers, Olave, that you can get the projectable volume in those few rounds. So again, the contest is only 30% full, so it's not massive in the grand scheme of things. But once the projections come out, once Bucky gets ruled out, if he does get ruled out, I'm probably going to take a fade stance on Mr. White. How are you guys kind of playing it? Do you think Bucky's going to play? 2, if so, do you think he's going to have his normal role, or is it going to be like a more committee approach? And 3, what is your approach with Rachaad White and all these quote unquote super teams?
Yeah, so my approach with the Bucky Irving is it was a stay away, and then it was for let others figure out that decision, because that's why I kind of was like, I'm going to grab 2 RBs in the first 2 rounds, and one of those running backs not being Bucky. So I didn't have that decision to worry about later in the draft, because I was already locked in, because I was also taking DeMont in the 3rd round. So a lot of my drafts I was pretty much boxed out of any running backs later. I kind of did that on purpose to kind of be like, you know what, that's a decision that I don't even want to think about or worry about. I'll let others try to land on that decision of getting that one right. If White is in play, and then if White is actually a good play this week against a pretty good Seattle defense.
Yeah, I think so. I think that your approach of getting him late, Dave, makes sense. I think as he moves up, to me, he's not such a smash play that I need to chase him up to the 3rd round or the 4th round. I think he's because I like a lot of the receivers in that range. I think there are other running backs that you can make a case for in that range. So I don't really see the need to chase him up. I don't always factor in other people got him at this price, so I'm not going to take him at his new price. A lot of the time I'm willing to just buy a player at his new price if I think it's a fair price for him. I think it's a good price. I don't know that I believe that for Rachaad. I think Sean Tucker is going to be a factor also. So I don't think it's bell cow Rachaad White necessarily. So I don't see myself chasing him up the board.
Right. I'm pretty bearish on the, just the defensive outlook for Seattle versus White for the most part. This is more so a play. It's hey, I'm building a portfolio of teams. I'm doing a plethora of volume. I just want to get my late White shares, because when he's going in the 2-3 turn, maybe even earlier, I'm not going to have any interest there. So this is more just a portfolio management thing. Yeah. Gun to my head, I would say he fails this week against Seattle.
But if he doesn't, your combo, you're not going to get boxed out, because your combos are going to be better.
Yeah,
exactly.
So it's a very strong play. Yeah.
There's been
I saw you and I saw Chad. Chad was doing a lot of that too.
Yeah, Chad, Patrick Barnes, myself. Yeah, there's a couple of sharp people doing the same. I'm forgetting one more. I know he qualified last week. I'm blanking on his name.
Not Go Easy Card. That was 2 weeks ago, right?
Tube. He was in the track. Tube.
Yeah, him. Yeah. He's been crushing this week. He has some absolute really sick teams.
Yeah.
Yes. Ty. He's been crushing this early week drafts. He's been putting in a lot of volume. Congrats on qualifying, by the way.
Yeah.
But some of his teams are absolute monsters. If White is the guy you need this week, I'm gonna bet he's the guy that qualifies because it was like a game of tag trying to see where you can kind of see where you can take White over these sharp drafters. You don't want to take them too early, but you also don't want to let them fall. So it's just like whack-a-mole.
Playing chicken. You're playing chicken.
Playing chicken. Yeah. I was forgetting the analogy there, but I know he has a lot of White. So and with really good combos as well. So good for him.
Yeah. I just saw Chuba's not practicing. He's not a big target for me. He's been losing some work.
But would Dowdle become interesting if Chuba misses?
I don't know. Miami through the air. It's more just like Tet for me and moving on. Kind of how just because Monte is such a better pick in that exact same range. For me at least, and I like Kamara too. I think Kamara has a potential for a bounce back week this week. He's finally got a game that he shouldn't get. They shouldn't get boat race where it's the game. It's becomes such a pass happy attack because they're playing catch up mode. They should this game should stay tight. They should be able to keep the running attack more in line. Being more split 50-50 versus so like 60-40, 70-30 like they've been.
Yeah. Go Easy Cards. I was just about to ask you guys this also. Are you on the Woody Marks wagon? Last week, Woody Marks had 17 carries, 5 targets on 43.8% route participation. So pretty awesome workload last week. Nick Chubb had 13 carries. So Woody Marks actually had more carries, ran more routes, now gets Baltimore, who has been, in terms of schedule adjusted fantasy points allowed, the best possible matchup for running backs, and primarily through the air. So it seems to set up well for Woody Marks's skill set. So my initial instinct is like, I'm not going to chase Woody Marks. Like, I don't know if it's real yet, but it seems like a good matchup to potentially chase him if you wanted to. What are you guys doing there?
Right. With him going so close to Demon, I just kind of been ignoring him. He's also one of the guys that I don't think is going to project super well. I bet like, when ETR drops their rankings tomorrow, he's going to be like, 50s, 60s types guy. So I will get some later in the week. I like the matchup. I like the player. It's just the fact that he's around a lot of players I really like Ferguson, Laporta, Demont, some of the quarterbacks. So that's kind of made me more hesitant. It's more around where his price is at right now, more so than the actual player. But I do like him.
Yeah. He was an early target from Monday and Tuesday because he was more in that 4th round, 5th round. So that's where I got a lot of my Woody Marks was in that territory. Now that he's creeping up, I've been kind of more passing. But maybe we'll mix him in more. But I do like that game. I think that game has a potential like that. Henry Collins mini. I built a couple of those that kind of plays nice. Good potential there. Haven't really been clicking Pollard, Chase Brown, just by going by ADP. I don't know what to do with Kenneth Walker. What do you think, Dave? What do you think about Seattle and their split? Are you liking any Seattle running back?
I haven't clicked them at all this week. It's just one, the matchup. Obviously Tampa Bay strength is they have a very strong rush defense. But that being said, I will say I think this is more like a Walker compared to a Sharps game. The Bucs defense up the middle is really, really stout. You have Vita Vea in there. If a running back for Seattle is going to hit it, I feel like it's more like Walker on the outside going for a home run rather than Sharps just grinding it out. I just like, again, it's more of a price thing for me. I just like a lot of the other guys around him a lot more. What about you? What are your thoughts there? Because this is someone that can break the slate and is going relatively late. What do you think?
Yeah, so my notes is, Tampa Bay's been kind of tough against the pass with their packages, and they're a little bit weaker through the ground game. So it all depends on game flow. This is one of those kind of game environments that could pop. So Walker's definitely one that I haven't clicked yet, but I don't think he's going to scream up boards. So I'm going to start mixing him in now until kind of the rest of the week, as I see him being kind of anchored into this third, fourth round. So I can kind of get some unique pairings that weren't maybe available early in the week that are now available later in the week.
How are you playing it, Neil?
Yeah, I think kind of the same as Math. I mean, I'm not going to do that many drafts. My guess is in my 7 or 8 Dawg Bowl drafts this week, taking advantage of that eliminator money. I still probably won't get to Walker because, like we said, there's just other running backs that I prefer in that range. I'm probably going to have a lot more of Demont and Kamara and a lot of the early running backs. So I probably don't get to a ton of Walker, but I definitely agree with you. Like, I prefer him over Charbonnet. It's tough to see Charbonnet getting there by grinding out. It's easy to see Kenneth Walker getting there in any matchup. It's just like he just needs to hit that home run 50-yard touchdown, which he's very capable of. So yeah, I don't hate it, but it's not a strong enough matchup that I'm going to prioritize it with all the other running backs I like on the board. And a lot of receivers. As you mentioned, this could be just a 3 wide receiver week where you don't need the late running backs. So just a lot competing there.
Yeah, Tampa Bay. Yeah, sorry. Going back on my notes, Tampa Bay's, they've been stout on pass and run, but they've been giving up a couple big plays on the edge. So there's a guy, a home run hitter like Walker could get home against them for sure. Yeah.
Go as cards asked Denver running backs. Any interest in J.K. Dobbins, R.J. Harvey?
I've done one of Dobbins just because he goes so late and he's not drafted all the time. And that game is interesting. It's kind of that 44-point total right now. It's thin. So it's nothing that I want to do hot and heavy.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah, I took some Dobbins before the Monday night game. Just on the thesis of, like, if he consolidates way more work against Harvey, he might rise. But besides that, it's just like 1 or 2 shares. I'm not too interested in that this week.
Yeah. Tough man. Those are both really good defenses. That game could, like Harmon or Thorman said, it could just be a pretty slog fest. Nothing really pops.
What about the Arizona running backs? Any interest in Emari DeMercado, Michael Carter, or is that too much of a split?
Ah, man, it's I saw Crutcher say in the chat that someone took DeMercado like at 22. Man, that is quite the price for him. I'm probably just staying away from this backfield. It's the lowest total game on the slate. It's not like the Cardinals running back position this year has been like something we've been chasing. If anything, it's probably just gonna be a massive split in a bad game environment. I'm probably just staying away right now.
Yeah, I'm not touching it.
Okay. Math, anything else you want to talk about? See there.
Oh no, sorry, I got some crazy light coming in.
You got to keep moving. I see you're like moving around in a circle.
There you go.
Trying to get away.
There you go. That's funny.
Sorry about that. No, I'm good. I'm not even going to swap to any. I did take some Trey, on Monday in the 3rd round, but I'll just swap to a wide receiver.
Before we finish off running backs, I'm just going to ask you guys, gun to your head, where's the earliest you're going to take Rachaad White, assuming Bucky Irving's out? Like, where would you slot him in between running backs rankings wise?
I still think like 6th round for me. So
really, okay,
5-6 turn. Yeah, I don't think that I move him up all that much. Just because I think that it's going to be a split. I don't think he's going to be like taking over that Bucky Irving role. Maybe I'm totally wrong, but tough matchup. And I think that they've been looking for opportunities, I think, to get Sean Tucker involved. They've said like, we would like to get Sean Tucker involved. So I guess my assumption is that it's going to be more of a split backfield than it was previously.
Yeah. I'm kind of
right with their Woody Marks. That'd be my gut instinct.
Okay. Yeah. That's kind of where I would slot him. Right. Yeah. 3-4 turn area.
Yeah. It's kind of where he's going now.
Yeah. My perception of it, I was kind of playing it like Sean Tucker will get more base than he normally does, obviously, but all the high value touches are going straight to White. And again, I'm not a huge fan of the matchup. I'm not a huge fan of the environment. It's just more so like, hey, I'm gonna have a bunch of teams, so let me get some cheap white before he goes up. I won't be taking him. Probably the earliest out is what Matt said, Woody Mark's range, and what Crutch has said. Beyond that, no, thank you.
Yeah, I looks like my internet cut out for a second. I was trying to pull up Crutch's comment here, and it was like I couldn't do it because my apparently my internet. I don't know if you guys lost me for a second, but I am here now, so hopefully that doesn't happen again. Should we move on to receivers? Anything else, Math?
No, we're good. Let's buzz through this because it seems like it's just one whole large tier.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, it's kind of flavor of stacking up your quarterbacks, game environments. You know, St. Brown is Mr. Consistent. You know, he's probably going to get probably 80 yards and a touchdown. You can probably mark it. It's just like, does he explode? You know, that's definitely want some. And I think JSN is Mr. You know, his utilization is awesome. Tough matchup, but I think he probably still can get home. So he's definitely worth where he's going in that first round. And then you can have some fun with Dallas and the Jets with Pickens and Wilson. There's a lot of game stat going on in that 9, 10, 11, 12. If you're in the second half of the board, you're kind of pairing up that game environment. I haven't really been kicking a lot of Chase. He could get home, but at the same time, it's kind of one of those bets. If it burns me, it burns me. I'm not in love with Chase this week.
To me, you know, there's kind of like a clear tier between Amon-Ra and JSN. Then after that, it's kind of just like Wilson down to like Igbuka, maybe even like QJ if you want to go there. The main thing I want to ask y'all is your thoughts on the Cincy wide receivers. They're in a really good game environment. They're at home, highest total on the slate. They did just play two really tough defenses in the Vikings and Broncos. Now it's a little bit softer with Detroit. What are you doing with Chase? Because we know with Brownie, he still has that elite ceiling. It's obviously not as common. What are you doing with Chase? What's the earliest you take him? Let's start with that.
Yeah, I haven't taken him yet at a 27 drafts.
I would take him at ADP. I have no issue taking Chase at 16 is ADP. It's not like he's not a huge priority for me, but I think I like him. I mean, so last week we had the T. Higgins squeaky wheel narrative. Like he was pretty upset, and Jamar Chase came out and said like, "Oh, I tell T, if you're not happy with how much you're getting the ball, you got to ask for the ball." So I played a ton of T on that Monday night slate. Didn't work out from that perspective. But then it seemed by the end of the game, Jamar Chase also squeaky wheel. So I think they're going to be throwing the ball quite a bit. I just got a final round T. Higgins, so that's my only share so far in my 2 drafts of the Bengals. I like T. Higgins quite a bit in the 6th round, but I think Chase is honestly a pretty strong value there in the early second.
I love T this week, man. He had a lot of unrealized air yards this past Monday. He had some big bombs to him, some stuff over the middle. And I think, you know, obviously Browning's not amazing, but I think a lot of it has to do with just the defenses and the environments they were the last 2 weeks. I think he's good enough to sustain pass catchers in this offense. And with it being against Detroit, against not a crazy good defense, you know, they're pretty good, but nothing I'm avoiding. T. Higgins in the last round is just something I really love. You know, mini stacking in with Demont or Amon-Ra, Laporta. I've been doing that a ton. I think that's probably the biggest part of my portfolio is just one of the Lions and then mini with T. Higgins.
Yep.
Yeah, I like the ceiling. It's just the Lions are currently blitzing at like 40% of the time. With that O-line, they have to break it. They're gonna have to break to the house because they're not gonna be able to withstand drives. So it's got to be splash plays. So if they get the splash plays, they're gonna get home. But again, there's angles that I have to play for. I'm not going to 150 this thing. I'm probably going to get maybe 10 more drafts in. So that's one angle. I'm like, it's gonna be Lions route through the running game. And this game doesn't play out. And that's just how I'm playing it. I'm not saying that's how anyone else needs to play it, but just that's how I'm playing it.
The other team that I'm really interested in is the Chargers. Just we've seen teams dominate against this Washington Commanders defense. Like the passing games have been so good against the Commanders, and I think everybody's on QJ, and like he makes sense against the Commanders defense. Obviously, he looks great, but I also think like at some point, I think Ladd is going to have spike weeks. I mean, I think right now it looks bad for Ladd. It's been pretty gross, but I still think like he's out there enough. He's talented enough. He's going to have spike weeks. It seems like a spot where they could probably get him going if they wanted to. So I like Ladd where he's going. I still like Keenan where he's going. I really like the Chargers offense, and I like them all at where they're going as well.
I can't stop with Ladd, man. I'm going to continue to go to that well until there's $0 in my Underdog account.
Yeah.
He's still getting 7 targets a game. And I think with him right now, it's something like mentally, you know, he kind of seems like he has the yips or something. He's kind of dropping some passes that he normally wouldn't drop. But the usage is still there. So again, I'm going to lean into the highest. There's 3 games tied for the highest total on the slate, but I'm going to lean into the game environment. It's up in pace. He's fallen a lot. I've gotten him as late as like 42, I believe. So you can get him at a cheap price. His usage is still good. It's kind of just hoping that it goes away from QJ, maybe a little bit more to Ladd this week. So I'm still all over Ladd. And like you said, Neil, all these guys at costs, I like a ton.
Washington gets a lot of pressure, and they're going to be able to get home. But it's their linebackers and their secondary are slow. So they're giving up big splash plays. So McConkey did that last year. We haven't seen it yet. It screams a QJ game. It screams like it's going to be QJ. But again, maybe QJ gets the safety over the top a little bit, and you can see Ladd kind of screaming across the zone, getting wide open. I definitely can see that.
Anything else that you want to talk about wide receivers, Math?
No, it's kind of chasing touchdowns for me. I like Pittman a lot this week. I got quite a bit of Pittman. I think he's got a really good matchup. I think if it's not JT, it's going to be Pittman's got a chance for 1 or 2 touchdowns against this really bad Raiders secondary. I can also see JMO, 50, 60 yard of the house. They've been close a couple times. They might want to try to scheme him for a big splash play. I don't know what to do with AJ Brown, but I've been clicking him as he falls to the 4th round. I just like 4th round AJ Brown. It's a tough matchup, but again, uber aggressive defense. He could break a tackle and do a house call. So I've been liking that, and I think Sutton is just Mr. Consistency. He's going to get a lot of targets. He's got a chance if that game does kind of uptick a little bit in pace. I can see Sutton kind of scoring a touchdown. And then Olave. I like Olave too. Kind of 6th round Olave has been nice.
This is the pocket of the draft where I think the winner is going to be decided. Anywhere between like Ladd down to like Olave. I think 2 of these receivers will be on the winning lineup. They all project. They will project very well. A lot of projectable volume. You got Keenan, you got Jacoby, Sutton. And then kind of like in my head, if I was able to, I would have like a rule of min 1 line in every draft. So I would love to get JMO as well. I will say, I wanted to go back to T. Higgins, is that this week is one, we're experiencing buys for the first time, and we have a lot of firepower that's going to be out tomorrow night for the Thursday night game. Winning this week is not going to be that difficult in terms of a scoring perspective. Like Matt was saying earlier, anywhere, he might think that 117 might win it all. So if you get like 5 for 60 and 1 from T. Higgins in the 6th round, that is something I will take every day in the week on this particular slate. And when you look at the names that T. Higgins is around, Darius Slayton, Rashid Shaheed, Malik Washington.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to close your eyes and, hope he just breaks one.
Bet on talent.
Yeah. So I know the situation's scary. I know like Matt was saying, a lot of blitzing towards the Cincy O-line is not going to be pretty, but his usage was really good last week. He almost connected with a couple deep balls with Browning, and maybe the last 2 matchups were just really tough for Cincy, and now a little bit of a softer matchup can be what it takes to get this passing game just competent. So in the 6th round, I think T. Higgins in the game environment, highest total in slate. That's something I'm really interested in.
Home cooking too. Usually teams play better at home. So
Yeah.
Yeah, like Wan'Dale Robinson's going over. Like,
Yeah,
come on, guys, close your eyes and bet on the talent at some point, especially given the game environment. So
yeah, Slayton's getting collected a lot. A lot of people are going to the Giants, and just it's kind of wish cash and kind of someone's going to catch targets, But the same thing, 92% of the routes, he's only getting 20% of the targets. Hopefully those catchable targets, he's only getting 50% of those are catchable targets according to Fantasy Life. So hopefully he can just put it on target more with especially that broad wingspan he has. The Detroit secondary, they're fast but small, so there's definitely going to be a size advantage in his favor.
So I agree with you on T. Higgins, and I love the Detroit in every lineup like that. That is something that I think that I've been kind of aiming for in the drafts that I've done. I've done a few outside of the Dawg Bowl, other contests as well. I think I've done that so far. I like it quite a bit. I think I am the guy who is going to be taking some of the Giants just because I'm interested in seeing what Jackson Dart has. I think Jackson Dart, we don't really know what he is yet at this point. I think he's really fun. So just pairing him with one of, I don't think I want to do a double stack, but one of Wan'Dale or Darius Slayton. Just seeing like historically, this team is really focused on one receiver. We saw it last year when Malik Neighbors missed some time. Darius Slayton had a double-digit target game. We don't know if that's going to happen with Jackson Dart, but because he's kind of an unknown in these 12-team drafts, I'm like, yeah, maybe a late back stack in the 5th and 6th round with either Slayton or Wan'Dale and Jackson Dart. I don't totally hate it, but I see your point. Like taking T. Higgins makes sense. If you're not doing that, taking T. Higgins in the final round looks great.
I like that angle, Neil. I forgot about. I think he was concussed for a few weeks last season. Neighbors was, and Slayton did have that big spike game. That was an angle I wasn't looking at before, but I will incorporate it into my portfolio.
All right. We should get into a draft here, so maybe I'll enter a draft and we can take a look at tight ends while I'm doing that. While it fills, does that work for you guys?
Yeah,
that sounds good. I will enter one as well.
Oh, you're gonna draft against us, okay?
Yeah. Let's get a little friendly competition here. Oh, I just snap Phil. Did you get in?
No, I did not get in.
All right, perfect. That's even better.
Yeah.
All right, so we can.
You do yours, and then we'll get in one. I'll tell you guys when I'm entering. I'm not there yet. So what do we think of are we going elite tight end? I think you said that you like Warren better than Brock Bowers.
Yeah, IKB. I'm just going Warren over Bowers, just more so on the health uncertainty, and this guy's usage is insane. He's getting goal line carries for goodness sake. Like, so yeah, I will go McBride Warren, and then kind of just like a tier breaking kind of tie of Bowers, Ferg, and Laporta. After that, it gets pretty ugly. I think tight end's really, really thin this week in terms of depth. You had Waller and Taylor that opened up after the Monday night game, so that makes it a little bit better. But for the most part, if I had to guess, majority of my portfolio will be among the top 4 to 5 guys.
Yeah. I think Ferguson is a really good click. Warren, I have been clicking some Bowers just on that game environment. And I do think with everything that's going on in Arizona and with the running backs, I could see them leaning a little bit more to the pass. So I have done a couple Kyler doubles with Trey and Harrison just to say it's all going to be happening through the air. As it's kind of cheap.
I noticed that you included Sam Laporta in the same tier as Jake Ferguson. He's going pick 41 ADP. Sam Laporta at ADP to me kind of stands out as like, that seems like a really nice spot for Sam Laporta. I'll take that.
Yeah.
He's my most owned player right now.
Yeah, he could ruin all the the Gibbs, Montgomerys, the St. Brown. Like say he has the 2 touchdowns. He could ruin all those teams. So it's a huge leverage piece. Yeah, it's a good shout.
And again, it's gonna be if you just get 2 touchdowns from your tight end this week, you're gonna be sweating for first. It's gonna be pretty easy to rush up the leaderboard this week, given the low scoring that we think is gonna happen. So Laporta is just. I feel like every line this season has kind of gotten there, and it's kind of like they're waiting for Laporta's turn, or JMO. So those are the 2 guys I'm most interested in this part of the draft.
Crutch says Laporta clear tier below, so I think I have Laporta in the top, but I do agree with this shout. You gave the shout already, Dave. Mason Taylor, just this matchup with Dallas, I think, and the coach week has been so like strange how much they like Mason Taylor. It's like we need to get Mason Taylor and Breece Hall the ball more, is what they were saying before their last game. It was like, oh yeah, these are our playmakers. We need to get the ball in Mason Taylor's hands. When he doesn't get the ball in his hands, we notice that. It's like, okay, they really like Mason Taylor. So in a great matchup with Dallas, that seems really good to me.
Yeah, and they were designing the offense like almost around him. Like he was getting a lot of first read looks. So that's something that definitely interests me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tommy Tremble, if is somebody I drafted, if Jatavian Sanders is out again, which I think he's expected to be. I mean, he's just been like his usage is great whenever Jatavian Sanders misses. So I think he's kind of sneaky against this Miami defense.
Yeah, I have seen him clicked. I think I did it once just in a game environment bet. But yeah, again, you're just kind of fingers crossed looking for a touchdown down here.
Yeah. All right, we can. Anything else on tight ends, or should I go to our draft board? We need 4 more for the draft that I entered.
4 more. I can get into if we need it, just to keep they were flowing earlier today.
Man, the fill rate earlier in the week was insane, and I think a lot of the smarter individuals were just like, "Give me Rashad White, give me Trey Benson" before the news came out. It's I will say, as the season, and this happened a lot last year as well. The Dawg Bowl, the first like 3-4 weeks, fills fairly quickly. It was filling by like Friday, Saturday, the first few weeks, and then people's pockets started to hurt a little bit, and then the nature of the 50% rate comes into play, and then it feels a little bit more slow. But earlier in the week, I feel like it was pretty good. We're at what, 30%? Yeah, 28. So.
I wrote it down this morning. It was like 21, like at 8 or 9 a.m. It was like at 21%. So it's picked up a little bit during the day today. So yeah, we'll see. I feel like we're going to be drafting Dawg Bowls on Saturday, maybe even Sunday this week.
I like that
even
way
after
more.
The Eliminator. I was thinking with the Eliminator payouts, maybe not, but
yeah.
My process is not fully finalized till like Friday night. Yeah. So when the first few weeks, when it was filling so quickly, I didn't even like get my player takes in the portfolio based on how I wanted to manage it. So I like it. That's filling just a little bit later, so I can build more around my takes.
Yeah, just on Crutch's questions here on Goddard, he's been kind of a target for me just because of how Denver's DST likes to get a lot of pressure, especially pressure early. I can see kind of more of a quick passing attack and Goddard kind of over the middle. And it seems like when Hurts gets quick pressure, he looks to him quite a bit. So I think you could see a little uptick on targets for Goddard this week.
Nice. We need 3 more. Did you enter, Math?
I can.
I'm in it as well, so we can get a little triple threat cage.
All right.
Here.
Yeah, love it.
Let's do it. Just to fill it. We're not.
Yeah. This is how you qualify. Beer in hand. Click NFL players. Deposit. Repeat.
Yeah.
Cards, you've been crushing it this season, man. I've been seeing you on the top of leaderboards. You already qualified. You've been drafting some really sick teams. So congrats to you, man.
Yeah. For sure. And Dave, so far, man, leader of the marathon. Keep it going, man.
Oh, is that right? Are you winning right now?
I am winning.
Nice.
I have a nice little squad there, but more importantly, I am leading the best ball DFS Herzig contest.
Fantasy best ball.
I saw that.
Best ball.
I did see that. I was going to bring that up.
With Gritty as my anchor. So
yeah.
More importantly, of course, but
I'm in 28th right now in fantasy best ball, and I feel like my team is set up well for the playoffs. I got sacrilegious. I got a bunch of DFS sharks. Was kind of my approach, and Mathology. So it's Mathology doesn't really play a lot of the DraftKings. He plays the draft game, so it's just all like old time OGs. Well, mostly OGs, but then BP Kelowna, one of them. Five guys from a Discord that I'm in, and then Mathology is the 6th.
Matt, you're crushing advance rates, right? You're like 33% or around that area.
Yeah. I had a down week a little bit. I was like 49, and then now I'm like 41. Got a runner. Numbers. I think I'm like 78th in the overall leaderboard right now. I got a couple of really nice JT Cook. Just some really strong running backs. I love QJ and like Keenan Allen with Herbert and stuff like that. It's just some really strong builds.
My dumbass decided it was a good idea to fade James Cook. So I do have my one marathon team is one of the few shares of him I do have. So hoping that one can have a nice little push towards the end of the season. But
nice. Is your team healthy? Is the most important thing right now with all of these injuries. So you're leading and you've survived all the injuries. That's pretty great.
Yeah. So the only injuries I have are Jalen Warren, and then I have Tyler Higbee as a last round leverage piece with my Stafford stacks that I liked. But he's out tomorrow, or doubtful for tomorrow. Doubtful. But I will be happy if he even hits my lineup one time this season. So
I was super in on Tyler Higbee, so I have been pretty disappointed so far.
Yeah, this Lamar out, Purdy out. That's really hurting some of my my bags here because I was big on Purdy and Lamar.
Yeah,
like just with the purity scores of San Fran and Baltimore do have a lot of Josh Allen, so those teams are going to be fine. But we need some of these quarterbacks back in so we can at least watch some good football.
Right. Yeah, I've got a ton of Lamar. Don't have as much Purdy as I thought I did. All right, I am on the board. Oh, you guys gave me H-Chan. Thank you guys very much.
You're welcome.
I guess I was going to get one of the top 3 regardless.
Yeah. See, this room is an incredibly soft room with a bunch of fish, so this should be fun.
Yeah, that's right. This would be an easy one.
A lot of good players in this draft. We'll see how it goes. I'm excited to see where people click Demont White in this draft. I wanted Demont. Oh, sorry. I was about to refer to the other draft I'm in right now. Never mind.
So you probably have a better shot at him in that other draft, unless you take him really early.
Yeah, Dave, you're in the 12th hole. Yeah.
Yes, not very beautiful over there, unfortunately.
Yeah. Are you mostly like Jets Dallas game out of the 12 hole? I feel like a lot of us are just doing that.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if anything weird happens here, but just a game environment I really like.
Yeah, me too. And just a quick thing for Go Easy Cars, Charles. Anytime you want to come on, love to have you on the show. Open invite. Same to you, Crutches. Hit me up on X or Discord. I'd like to have you guys on if you're interested.
We did try to find Go Easy Cards in the Discord. I could not find him.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you can reach out to Mathology. Matt, he can find you in the Deposit Kingdom Discord if you join the Flaniverse Discord. Easy to find Mathology.
Yep.
Oh, I'm kind of sad. Javonte Williams goes and Pickens. All right, guys, come on. My 2 Dallas boys gone. Okay, let me see what I can cook up right here.
TM Long Anchor. Yeah, he's in the Discord.
I'm really. What do you guys think about Genty this week? Because he was my most owned player last week. I got a pretty good couple good sweats with him, but the run blocking is so bad, man. And from an EPA perspective, Indy's been pretty good, so I've been kind of cooling off there. What are you guys doing with him?
Yeah, I mean, this is probably I might double him up with Hall and Genty here if I was you.
Yeah, no real strong take. I think he's going about where he should be.
Yeah. Or if you want to do, I have been doing a lot of Hill and Wilson together. That's kind of fun.
I like that.
I'm gonna go Nico here and try to do something a little creative here towards the. Well, you guys will see what I'm trying to set up here. We'll see how this goes.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, you can maybe come back and a little Fergie or the other running back there, Houston. Game environment. Yeah, I'm. That's a tough decision for me right now with Genty. I have been clicking it. I look kind of at ADP, or if it falls behind ADP a little bit. But I can see it where it just doesn't happen for him that week, this coming week, and it's more just through the air. It's more of like a Geno game, playing catch up. Indy's been really good from Jump Street. They just get up early. I can kind of see in the rush share, he have to get there through the passing game, which really limits him. So,
Man, this is a tough spot in the second round here. I mean, there's a lot of players that I kind of like, but nobody that like really stands out.
I really like that spot earlier in the week when Benson was a good click and when the tight ends weren't getting pushed up as much. But now it's kind of looking a little thin. Oh, see, we got Charles here going Demon at 20. That is,
yeah,
that is generous.
Makes it tougher. Yeah,
yeah.
But he knows the room that he's in.
He does know the room. Good for him. He's a good player, man.
Yeah, we just talked about it.
All right. Do I really want to do this? I think I'm just going to do it.
QJ, I like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a nice little Bowers fall. I mean, I just think he's not playing healthy, but it's just more, I know he's going to be like top 18 in the ranks when projections come out, so might as well just get some late shares now.
Yeah.
See what Mr. Crutches does here.
He's been taking a lot of Kamara lately. Let's see if he. I mean, it's a big Fields fall too, but
yeah, Fields there is a smash in my opinion.
I thought about taking Fields at my spot. I didn't do it because both Hall and Wilson are gone, and I forgot about Mason Taylor. I probably, if I had thought about it, I might have gone Fields first and then taken whoever comes to me. But got to get my reps in.
I just got Zay Flowers at pick 58. What do you think about that?
It's a great pick.
I got him in the 6th round earlier today. No one wants to click it.
Cooper, I'm telling you, man, I've seen every Cooper Rush snap since he's been in the league. He can support a fantasy cast. It's not going to be fun to watch, but he can pepper Zay with targets.
Yeah. Well, they're gonna try to get, wide open looks. Zay's a good separator. Should be kind of wide open, screaming over the middle a little bit. It's going to be a lot of run and then play action. Hopefully they can get a lot of just third and short or second and short, and being able to kind of open up the field for him a little bit. Give him some just layup throws.
So tight end's going a lot earlier than normal this draft. Laporta was one of my targets there at the 3-4 turn. We'll see how this closes out. Woody Marks. Okay, so I was going to try to go Nico to pair with Marks and then hit him with Zay, hopefully at pick 60, and then have a nice little game stack for that environment. But that will not be happening. Let me see what I'm going to cook up here. Okay, let's see. Oh man, I
want to answer after you go. I want to answer Gab Sports' question. I want one of you guys to answer it because I actually don't know the answer.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
This is a sick AJ Brown or a sick Jalen Hurts fall. I'm just deciding if I want to stack him up now or. All right, this is what I'm doing here. Okay. What is the question, Mr. Neal?
The question is, can anyone tell me how the Benson swap will occur this week in Battle Royale / Dawg Bowls? Will the swap be available for all games on the slate or just the late window of games since AZ is in the late game?
Right. Matt or the chat can correct me on this if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty certain that the way the swaps work, it goes based off your draft position. So if you have a player that's ruled out in round 1, for example, Bucky this week, you automatically get the first dibs, starting from 112 all the way back to 101. And then it goes to 212, all the back to 201 in terms of priority. So I believe, to your question, so if you have Benson going in the second round, I'm going to assume is where you got him, then you will be the second, quote unquote, second place person to swap onto your highest ranked player, given that Bucky is ruled out first. So the first round draft picker has the priority. And then as far as the late game, as far I believe it is where if you are, as long as you have your player ranked as high as possible, that first player will be picked regardless of the time slot. So if you have, let's say, Diamacardo ranked like 20th when the slate locks, even if it's the late game, Diamacardo will be the guy swapped onto you, assuming he didn't get drafted.
Yep.
I would assume that's making the assumption that they're out at the start of the noon games or 1 o'clock games, whatever you call
Correct.
Them. First, if they're doubtful, then it would go until they're actually ruled out, I assume.
Correct.
Right? So it wouldn't.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It happens when they actually become out. So
Second time Steven has swiped me with Naked Herbert.
Oh man.
Two out of 3 Dawg Bowl drafts. Steven just doing it to me.
He has his convictions. I respect it.
He does.
And that's how you should play the game. So he was pretty close last week. Shout out to him. He was all over Hampton early in the week. I was, playing chicken with him the entire week, trying to get Hampton at good prices, and he was just not letting it happen. So good read from him there.
All right, who do I want here? Man, this is a tough range.
See, this is a situation, Neil, where I'm cool going like naked dark and just hoping he just scores a bunch of rushing. Given that you have Lat and QJ. Ooh, okay.
I'm doing something a little bit different.
I'm trying to. There's a couple angles I want to go here with my next pick. I'm hoping the board lets me do it. Yeah, AJ Brown there is a phenomenal click.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of my next, like, what I want to do at quarterback. Needed some time to think.
I think, okay, never mind. If I was going to say, if I were in your shoes, I'd probably just go Pittman, Geno, and game stack that environment up. But Pittman already went, so never mind.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing about Chase Brown? Because, man, he's getting all the work for the most part, and it's a high total game. It's going in round 5. Again, winning this week, if you got 15 from your round 5 pick, you're probably pretty happy.
Yeah. Man, this is. No, I'm going to push it.
Yeah, GAB Sports, free at the DFS Masterclass. They're doing a whole swap tutorial. So free. Go to the website, check it out. They even share a lot of alpha of how to utilize that, the whole swap tech. It's more bigger on like NBA hoop season than it is kind of on the NFL side of things. But and if you want to use promo code MATH, you get 10% off.
There you go.
Check it out. Link is also in the description if you want to go. If you need to find it, you should be able to find the link in the description of this video. That'll should give you the discount after you click it.
Yeah, they're doing that free. The whole swap strategy and discussion on it's all free on the website right now.
Nice.
OMG Laos. We discussed Higgins a bit when we were going over the wide receivers. If you want to go back in the stream, but I had a little breakdown on why I thought he was a sharp click in the last few rounds.
Yeah, I think he really means why am I taking him in the 4th round here? And it's because I had a double stack worked out and didn't really give myself a ton of outs. So just giving myself some optionality in the 6th round. And we were at the point in the draft where I didn't see anything that I was like, I could have taken Keenan Allen and done a triple stack, but triple stack without the quarterback, didn't really want to do that. So just didn't feel super strongly that there were any other receivers that were like clearly better clicks than T. Higgins. And T. Higgins was the one that I'm like, I don't hate the idea of stacking it up. So it was just kind of, I think he's a fine click there relative to the other receivers, and he gives me another quarterback option.
Yeah.
I'm debating here whether I want to double Hurts with Goddard and Devonta or just go for the ADP value with Jawan. I am going to play this.
What teams project to score more points?
I'm going to go Goddard. Yeah, I'm just gonna go Goddard in the sense that if Jalen has this big passing game and he's going for like 3 touchdowns and they go through those 2 pass catchers, I'm gonna have a pretty nice shot to climb up the leaderboard. So again, on these smaller slates, I think correlation matters a little bit more. Just narrowing down the things you need to get right. Again, when you see the leaderboard this week on these heavy bye weeks, when you have like 4 to 6 teams on bye, it's going to be pretty easy to win with a relatively low score compared to what we saw the last few weeks, unless there's like some guy going for like 45.
Right. Yeah. Unless there's a whole lot of house calls, it's going to be game environments are going to matter. So being overly correlated in a game or 2 offenses is going to do well if you land on the right pairing.
Yep. Looks like it is the blue wall coming up here. Actually, no, the next 2 picks already have tight ends. Yeah,
with the 3 tight ends early and Laporta, it's not quite the blue wall like we've seen in previous slates where everybody's just kind of plays chicken on tight end. But you'll find some rooms that people just kind of get a little aggressive and grab the guys early. It's all kind of room dependent at the tight end position this week.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough room. A lot of my targets went earlier than they usually do here.
A lot of real sharp people in this room, unfortunately. But that's what happens when you have a Dawg Bowl stream.
Yeah, that is
you're just inviting people to.
I mean, it's also just the Dawg Bowl in general. You play the Dawg Bowl. It's like it's always 12 red badges. Kind of tough to.
Well, you learn a lot. I mean, I learned a ton watching you draft, Dave. And Crutches, and I haven't seen A win as much as last year. But just really sharp people, just watching how they're attacking and what they're building. And I'm not trying to copy, but I'm trying to how can I build that team just better?
Yeah, I agree. I definitely look at the people I respect in these drafts and just be like, what are they doing? I need to see what's up with them. Yeah. But Ty here, he has another sick team. The Darnold double, the leverage with Darnold that we mentioned at the beginning of the show. He has Laporta, Chase Mini on the highest scoring game or highest total slate on the game, on the highest scoring game on the slate, and then a naked Zay Flowers at 54 seems comfy. That's a sick team from him. He's been crushing this entire week, man. Like he's been in like every lobby, and every time I finish the draft board, I'm like, God damn, dude, this dude's playing really fucking good. So shout out to you, man.
Yeah.
I got the secondary stack, the primary stack. Yeah, it looks good. Do we want to go over our teams?
Yeah, let's break them down.
Math, you want to start with breaking yours down?
I love your
process.
Team,
how you like it?
That is sick.
Yeah, so I'm taking the Baker premium and Buka with Godwin. Godwin got 10 targets. I'm thinking with everything that's going on in running back, they're going to just air it out. Baker's just going to play Superman like he loves to do, and hopefully that game pops. So I got that, and then I got Bowers and Gibbs up top. Hopefully Gibbs is the RB1 and Bowers is the tight end 1. And then hopefully the squeaky wheel gets home and AJ Brown smash week, and that's the shipper. Pretty straightforward. Nice. It's a double stack with some good players up top.
Matt, I like how my team is kind of like a inverse leverage off your team, where I have a Hurts double with Rashad White. Yeah. It's kind of just the polar, the exact opposite of your team. But yeah, just playing into the game environment with Brees. Dallas defense is obviously, ass. Nico, just like as a one-off, and then really betting on the Eagles offense and just hoping it gets concentrated with those 2 guys. And then the Rashad White thing is just, I think he's going to go a lot earlier when projections come out. So I'm not going to take him then. I'm just going to take some right now. And I like both our teams a lot, Matt. And then we got Neil with the poor snipe on him, which really aesthetically doesn't make the team look good. But
the team it's not great. I don't feel awesome with it. I think that the team could win. So there are parts of it that I like. So obviously HN I love. I leaned into, I think the Chargers could put up a big score through the air here against the Commanders. So I went with the QJ Lad McConkey double stack. Actually, if I had given it more thought, I probably would have taken Fields at 22 and then backstacked it with Mason Taylor. I just after Wilson and Breece Hall were off the board, I thought, I don't really have an out here, and I do like to usually stack up my quarterback. So I passed on it and then pretty quickly regretted it after I gave it more thought. But then I pushed it. I tried to get lucky. I thought with QJ and McConkey, both Herbert goes around pick 40 is the ADP, and Keenan Allen goes later. So I thought if I take both of them, I'm a little bit more likely, I think, to get a fall in Herbert. So I took a little bit of a risk there. I also knew that Steven is in this draft and took him unstacked in the same exact spot in the last draft. So I was kind of wish casting a little bit that maybe Herbert comes back to me. He didn't. I panicked a little bit, didn't like any of my options here. So I ended up going. I've been thinking that the Browning stack is one that I don't really hate it, because I think that's a game that could go off if Browning, like we've seen him at times in the past, actually be a really good quarterback. Like just like he's inconsistent, but he'll have those games where it really goes off. I think that if you do it, I generally want it to be a full game stack where I've got pieces of Detroit. Goff didn't come to me. I can try that out. Yeah, I think Crutches is right. I do need to learn to do the naked quarterbacks and just lean into projection more than I do that. That's probably a development I need to do this year a little bit. But I just like I'm always inclined to try to stack. So I decided to go with the Higgins. I was pretty confident I'd be able to get Browning with my final pick, taking Higgins there. So I decided to do it. I took Tremble thinking I'll give myself 3 quarterback outs, whether it be Dart or Bryce Young or Jake Browning. Ultimately, though, not my favorite team. I've liked both my other teams pretty significantly better than this one.
I'm just geeked at Crutch's comment where he's just like, I don't know why I play this. I feel that way after 95% of the Dawg Bowl drafts.
Yeah.
You're excited to join. You're like, okay, I got a good draft spot. And then the draft's over. You're like, this team's ass. Fuck. It's just, I do like his team though. The falling fields with the Ferg mini. You got JT. I like it.
Yeah. Korea says the data is very bullish on naked quarterback viability. I guess that's something that, so I think DFS throughout the years, like we've kind of gone away from it in salary cap games. Like it's shown over and over, like the correlation of correlating your quarterbacks can be so powerful in terms of large field tournaments, shooting yourself to the top. Maybe it's a little bit different in the draft games because you can just lean more into, first of all, it's smaller fields, so you're not dealing with hundreds of thousands, but also you can just lean more into projections a little bit more easily, because it's different than DFS in that DFS there's a salary cap. Usually the salaries are pretty correlated with projection. Like a lot of weeks they're going to be very correlated with the projection, but you can lean into fallers in draft games a little bit more. So maybe it is like it's a different game and something that I need to try out a little bit more than I do with the naked quarterbacks.
That's my biggest leak in my game is I'm just so DraftKings FanDuel minded that I feel gross when it's naked. Even though the data does support, you can run naked quarterbacks in this, especially with someone like Herbert that's running a little bit more than he normally is now that he's healthy.
Yep. And this is a good point from Crutches. Like you're going to find the quarterbacks will have players that just never go drafted. So if they just go to those players, that's a good point.
Exactly. Yeah, that was my best team last week. Was May just by himself.
Nice. Yeah, he had a rushing touchdown and a passing to Hunter Henry, but then Hunter Henry didn't really do much else, if I'm remembering right.
Yeah.
He almost had 2 there, which I think that would have shifted for you, right, Math?
I just needed like 7 points.
Yeah. I had a nice sweat towards the end. I had like a team in 2 in the top 10 for the second half, but then the Patty teams overtook everything. So shots on goal is what we want, baby. That's right. All you can ask for.
Yep. Just get close, and hopefully the slate quite breaks your way late. Just gotta be in striking distance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, anything else? Anything else you want to talk about, Math?
No, I appreciate Dave. I appreciate you coming on, sharing some alpha. I had a blast with you at the Dawg Bowl. Hopefully we can do it again.
We will both be in Kansas City, and we will get another beautiful steak dinner again.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you guys having me. Matt and Neil was an absolute blast. It's really healthy to just talk through the slate with a lot of sharp people, just because there's a lot of different angles I want to take now, and some things I'm a little bit off of now. So just always good for the process just to actually talk it out loud. So I appreciate you guys having me, and it was an absolute blast.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for coming on. This is always a fun show. It feels like my most relaxed show that I get to do every week, and I don't have to really lead the charge. It's Math leading the discussion, so always a fun one for me. I always enjoy having guests on to get to know a little bit better, and I feel like I'm learning something every week doing these shows. So it's been a lot of fun. We will continue it next week. Thanks again, Dave, for joining us. Thanks, Math, as always, and thank you guys for watching us. We will see you next week. Please do like, subscribe, use Math if you're going to sign up for the Underdog Masterclass.
One thing,
yeah.
I forgot last week. Neil, congrats on hitting 5K subs, man.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate
let's
it.
go, man. That's
a
big
just
milestone.
Yeah.
Good stuff,
the goal
man.
for this year is 6,000. So still need some more people to sign up. But yeah, always exciting to get to a milestone like 5,000. Appreciate that.
That's
all
looking
right.
good.
We're going to get out of here. Thanks, guys.
All right. Peace, fellas.